bought shit for I'm not sure how much, like
Unintentionally to
1,300
the
and
anime.
waiting.
Ding.
Or is it? Or is it Eve Online?
No, he
Oh
said
God,
Oh,
it
that
was
one's
Star Citizen.
nuts too. Okay.
All right, you guys ready?
Let's do this.
Cool. All right, so where we left off last week, we were driving in the 90s. Sorry. Kill that. All right, so we were just sketching out player stats, and our goal. Always need my notepad and forget to bring it up. Save. Don't save. I should probably check what those things were before I put them on the screen. Oh well. Now you know everything. Everything about Google Tag Management. All right, so our main thing that we're going to focus on today is we actually want to get gold clicking on the screen. So we want to add gold, upgrade the amount of gold we can get per click, and increase the amount of gold it costs to upgrade per upgrade. It's going to be our main focus today. If we get there, we'll move into peasants. All right. So we went through and we built out some base stat concepts here for our gold systems, tax collection, and our delivery system. And then we went over here to see that we have headers. We have gold systems, tax collection, delivery systems, so that we could see everything individually. So just with gold collection, so there's buttons here in our canvas. We got everything divided by panels. So we have a resource panel. What's all in that resource panel? All right, that's just our top bar. Got our gold earned. That's just the button. We got our menu on the bottom, and we got our toggle. Cool. So this button, if I press play right now, somebody's got background music coming in. I can't see who it is. Oh, hold on. Let's see. That's also. Is that working now? There, that should be working now. I have to stare at myself, put my camera on the OBS. That sucks. Hey, looking at myself. Anyway, so if we press this button, right now it doesn't do anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to build out the method to create and add our gold, and then we're going to create some displays so that it makes sense. But first, let's just click this to increase the amount of gold that we have. And on start, I believe our gold right now, we start, looks like with a 19. We're going to start with no gold. And before we adjust everything in our inspector, just another quick recap. We have our predefined amounts. So we have our gold amount at 0. The cost to upgrade, we have it set to 5. The upgrade increment is 10. So every single time that I upgrade it, I will get 10 more gold per click, is the concept. And I think that is all we technically need to start with. And there are default stats here. Let me reset them. Sweet. All right. So if we're going to start our first method, what do you guys remember about building the methods? What's the first thing that I got to put in here? Anybody remember? If we're building a method, I'm moving down. So here is our class. It's the whole entire class. Here, everything above this line is our variables. Then below this line is going to be our methods. So I just gave you a key concept here, methods. How do we build a method? Anybody know?
Is it just going to be like a void start or something? Since we're not going to like another scene or anything.
Yeah, so here in this case, we'll say void. And then so void means we're not going to return anything. We need to also state whether it's public or private. I'm going to say that it's public for right now. And then void, because we're not returning any data. If we needed to return data, which we'll get to at another time, we would say something else. So for now is void. and then we need to call it something. What would be a good name for setting up a function that's going to create or add gold per
Start.
click? Well,
So
start,
just-
sure. Yeah, we could put start here for sure, but we don't have anything that we need to start yet. We're just building a method. We're building a method, not the start method that defaults in the script. We're going to build the method that will generate gold for us every single time that we click. What do we want to call that? If we know that our goal is to have stuff
It's just
named,
add gold.
yeah,
Make gold.
yeah, we can say make gold, add gold. Let's get very specific. Let's say add gold per click is what I'm going to call it. So every click we are going to add gold because we know,
naming function.
yes, we want to name it exactly what it is and exactly what it does so that there is no guessing. 1 second, got a message. Gotta make sure nobody's dying. Okay. All right. So I need to that doesn't actually do anything, so I'm not super worried about it. All right. So what we need to do is we need to take our current gold and then add gold to it. Let's just start with that. Let's not worry about how much gold that we have. We're just going to add 1 gold every single time we click. Anybody know how we would do that? If we take a look at what our variables are right here, we have our current gold amount. So this is what we're going to add to. We just want to add 1 to it every single time that we click.
So pull the variable gold amount
Yep.
and do
So
plus equal 1.
yep, plus equal, I was going to say 1. And then what I'm going to do is scream as the IntelliSense keeps popping up here. How can I just turn, see, enable next edit suggestions? No. Okay, so let's see.
What the fuck was that?
I'm just trying to see if it will stop doing IntelliSense. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to say it's plus equals 1. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. It's equal amount equals 0. Okay, cool. All right, and then let's just go over here into Unity. So whenever we have a function that we need to tie up to a button, first we have to actually go to the button itself. So we have the gold earned button. And then down here in the gold earned button, we have an on-click function. So Unity already has built into their library system all of the fun simulation actions for button clicking and all this other stuff that comes predetermined in the inspector as components for the gold earned button or for any button that we add on here. So, but what we need to do is add our own functions to it. So to add our own functions, we're going to click this plus button. And it's going to look for an object. And the object is going to be what we use to reference where all of the code is and all the function is that we're going to pull commands from. So right now, our game manager contains our player stats. So on the gold earn button, we're actually going to drag the game manager object on here. And now that it's on here, we can click on functions and we can find the script that we're going to reference, which is player stats, because that's the script that all this stuff is on. And then we're just going to find that add function if it's on here. It's perfect. Add gold per click. Awesome. And then I have to sneeze. Maybe. Excuse me. All right. So right now our gold amount is 0. We're going to press play. We're just going to watch our gold amount right here and see if I press, it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now it's going all the way up. Our gold is flowing every single time we click that button. So now, if we got that, what if we want our gold to go up by, let's see. I don't think we have, oh, we do, here we go. Gold per click. So we want it to go up by our gold per click instead. How would we adjust this equation to
Make
increase it?
into a formula.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we
So
would
what do
have
I
to
replace this
define
1 with?
It'd be the gold per click
Yeah.
plus equals 1.
So we don't need to say plus equals 1 once we've said gold per click because we're actually involving the 1.
Oh,
We're
yeah, right.
defining the 1 here in the gold per click. So now anytime that I want to change that value, if we go back in here and press play, make sure it just works. All right, so the gold amount's going up by 1 right now. That's because gold per click right now is 1. So if I just go ahead and say it's 6, now our value goes up by 6 every single time that we click. Does that make sense? I will assume the silence means yes.
See,
Yeah, we probably thought it was going to be like a little different.
All right, so here there's also another thing to think about. Let's see. I think we just want to increase it by that. Yeah, that works. So it's just going to go up that increment every single time that we click it. I have a note on my other screen that doesn't make sense, so I don't think I'm going to apply it. We'll see if we run into this problem later or not. Anyway, so now whenever we click the gold, we now want to actually control gold per click so that we can create our upgrade system. So if we wanted to create an upgrade system, what are we going to call the upgrade system?
Grade click or click upgrade.
Yeah, we can call it that, but let's get even more specific. So upgrade gold click. So we're going to say we're upgrading our gold because at some point we're going to introduce peasants. So upgrade click doesn't work for the name because we have to specify what we're upgrading. So upgrade gold click. And let's see. So when we click it, and it's already given us 1 hint right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this number because IntelliSense is giving away all the good stuff. So we know that right now we have doing this on Notepad is going to be freaking weird. All right, so looking back at our variables, here's the current variables that we have under gold systems. I'm going to have to get used to this needing Discord up at the same time. Anyway, so looking at our variables, how would I, if my goal for upgrading the gold click is I need to increase the amount of gold per click by the gold increment and remove the gold cost from my active gold. That's the math that we got to figure out. So we can break it down just to do it line by line. So we got a line here, line here. So this is our 3 lines we have to figure out how to do.
would you want to start with an if so that way it controls, like, if as long as the player has a certain amount to spend, then it'll let it do the thing.
You're absolutely correct. So we don't want to run into a situation where we don't have any gold to give them. What would happen if we did that is the number would start going backwards, it start going negative. So you start going into debt, and it wouldn't actually prevent you from upgrading. So we want to say if what values are we going to compare? What do you think? We only need to have the values that are here in our gold system. So what 2 values are we going to compare?
Gold amount and gold upgrade increment.
Yeah, so gold amount, not go up, not increment. So increment is how much the cost is going to go up every single time we upgrade.
Oh yeah.
So if that's what's going to go up, then what we need to compare is the actual cost. So what is it? If it's less than, so wait, no, that's greater than, right? So I always forget. It's like the gate. You got to do the gator, right? Which way? The L is your less than, and then the gator opposite direction is your greater than. So if gold amount is less than our gold upgrade cost, we're going to say, oh my gosh, doing this in here sucks. We're simply going to say, we're going to put a debug.log here, and we're going to say, not enough money, you poor peasant. So then every time we're too poor, we put that in our console log, and then we're going to put a return here so that we stop reading the rest of the code, and then we do nothing. So every time we click, it's going to do absolutely nothing, tell us we don't have enough gold. We could put that in messages and all kinds of stuff later on. But we'll leave that there for now. So we're checking this beautiful value. Yeah. Say what? Oh, you forgot a parentheses. Yes, I did. Thank you. That'll blow up later when we paste it over. So now we know that. So next, if that is not true, and we are free to now upgrade, what do we do? Hint, we're going to actually increase now our gold per click by what?
Probably depends. Are we gonna want to do it each time just by one, or are we gonna want to
So
do
our
like
gold,
a exponential type of deal?
so we have our upgrade increment should be what we're comparing to. So every single time we upgrade, we're going to go up by our upgrade increment. So we're going to say it's going to be plus equals gold upgrade increment. And then every single time we do that, we then also need to remove gold from our active gold amount. So if our gold amount has to now go down, what are we removing from it?
We're removing the same thing, right? The gold upgrade increment.
We're not removing the increment, we're removing the cost. So let's think. So,
if that's what it's okay.
so the cost is 5. Let me separate these two. So these two are going to work together because whenever we upgrade, we're going to take our gold amount and we're going to remove the cost. So if I have 100 gold, I now have 95 gold. And then my gold per click is going to go up by this increment. And technically, we are then missing a variable because what we need, the naming for this, I actually don't like, because when I first read this, I was thinking this is how much gold the cost goes up, because we need to increase the cost every single time we do an upgrade, because if it always costs me 5 gold to upgrade my gold, at some point I'm going to be able to infinitely upgrade. And we don't want to create an infinite upgrade problem. So this value is what I'm still going to keep that as, and instead we're going to create a different value. We're going to say public, it's going to be an int, and we're going to say gold per click increment. And we'll make that also 10. And we'll make that 5. So every single time that we upgrade, we're going to go up our increment. Let me get rid of that actually so I don't keep doing that on accident. So instead of our gold per click going by our upgrade increment, we're going to go up by our gold per click increment. And I need to end that, oh God. End that. So let's see, what have we done so far? So increase the amount of gold per click. We've done that here. Then we need to remove the gold cost from my active gold. There we go. It's from the gold amount cost is removed. And then what I also need to do is increase the cost to upgrade is what we're missing from here. So if I need to increase my cost to upgrade, I'll go ahead and I'll give you guys this one. is we're going to take the gold upgrade cost and we're going to plus equal by where is it? Gold upgrade increment. So then now we're going to put this in. See if it all explodes real quick. What is it not like? Oh, capital L. Bonk. All right, we're going to save that. We're going to go ahead and kill these comments so we don't just have a bunch of stuff on the screen. All right, so now we need to assign upgrade gold click. And our upgrade gold click is down here under menu. We have our upgrade gold button. We want to take the on click function. We're going to add a new click function. We take our game manager that contains all of these functions, go to our player stats, which is the script that has it, and not add gold per click. We want upgrade gold per click or upgrade gold click. Okay. And now let's check our management here. So we have our great. All right, so I upgrade, it goes up by 1. Now if I want to actually upgrade the click, I need to get 5 gold, 2, 3, 4, so we have 5 gold. So now when I click this upgrade, we should spend that 5 gold. Perfect. So we spent 5 gold, my gold is now 0. Next time if I want to upgrade, it's going to cost me 15, and now my gold per click is currently 6. So we go click, 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 click. We're going to update. Now gold per click is 11. Click, 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 click. Up, up. How many times can I upgrade? Oh, not enough money, you poor peasant. So it's going to cost me 55 now to actually upgrade. Ping pong, ping pong, ping. All right, and I want to check something real quick. So the increment is, for example, so we say that it is 5. So let's see, our gold per click starts at 1. Increase it by 5. So it is now 6. But what if we want to have flat numbers? What if we always just want to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, or 25, 30, etc. Right? So we can't then just say take the gold plus the increment equals the new value. We have to actually, current click value plus increment equals new value. Instead, we have to say the current value equals new value is what we would end up having to do. And then if we wanted those flat numbers, which we don't necessarily need to do, but just for the sake of learning, we're going to make that slight change. So our gold per click is going to just be replaced. So instead of adding, we're just going to replace it. Equals a gold per click increment. And then our gold per click increment stays at 10. We would my brain won't stop rereading the word gold over and over and over while I'm trying to read the lines. I almost want to change the names just so that it'll stop doing that. So I think we need a new value. So let's see. we're going to replace it with this, we then need to increase this. Do we have anything that increases our increment? No, we don't have anything that increases our actual increment. Okay, so that would require us to, in order to flatten these numbers, to keep them even, 5 by 5 by 5 by 5, we would then have to say we'll say gold per click increase is going to be also by 5. So increment, increase, that's the same term, isn't it? I mean the exact same thing? Or am I crazy?
You're off by like one letter.
Let's see. Define, increment. So an increase or addition, especially one of a series on a fixed scale. Okay, so that's our, they're technically the same thing. Okay, so gold per click. Gold per, what do we call this? So if one of these is going to be the value that this one increases on, because this is going to end up replacing this. Because the way that's going to happen is we're going to say our gold per click equals whatever this value is, and then we're going to increase this number by this number so that this goes 5, 10, 15, 20, and then we just replace gold per click with this value here. So let's say, you know what? We'll say current gold per click, and then gold per click here will be what goes up. So check this out. Haxors. So gold per click. So we're going to say current gold per click equals flat gold per click. And this is still correct. I think this is still correct. Then we will say gold per click now equals the increment. So what should happen here is every single time we press increase, the flat number, so we don't end up with like 6 and 7. We just want flat 5 increase. And then we want the amount that we increase also to go up by 5 every single time. So let me just make sure that looks right again. Current gold per click is the gold per click. Add gold per click. We're going to have to change this one because it's now current gold per click. And let's just run it and double check everything's working. All right, so my gold amount click is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to upgrade it once. There we go. So now my gold per click is 5. Instead of 1, it is just, if we did it the other way, my gold per click would be 6. And every time I upgrade, it would have that one-off remainder that it increases by, and then that would start to stack. And you would get some really ridiculous numbers. It would be long-term harder to control because that remainder is always going to stack on top of itself. So by wiping it out entirely and making it equal a new value, it requires us a little bit to make another little bit of an equation there, but this should be smoother. So my gold amount again. Oh, no, that didn't work. Something's wrong. Let's see. We do 10. No, 15. Okay, so when I made that click, my gold amount went down. Current gold per click. That went up. So what went wrong the first time? Let's see. Current gold per click. 5. And then we upgrade. that did not go up. Let's see. Let's double check some math. And it also could be the values in here. Gold per click. Reset these values. Ah, there we go. The value in the inspector for this was 1 for gold per click, because that's what it was. This old variable was what we're doing now with the current. So this should now properly go up on that first upgrade. 2, 3, 4, 5. So now our gold per click, when I upgrade it, it should become, so our current gold per click should get replaced with this value. So current gold per click will be replaced with gold per click. Perfect. So now when I click 15, upgrade again, gold per click did not go up the next time. We need a plus equal. That's why we're missing a plus equal somewhere. Gold per click needs plus equal the increment. And then I'm going to change this name one more time, because this is making me constantly think when I look at it that it's the current value. So let's see. We're going to say next upgrade. No, it's too long. Maybe next gold per click. Let's see how that looks. Makes sense when I look at it or not. Oh yeah, it's freaking out. I didn't change everything else. So we need to just look for just plain gold per clicks. Bam, next gold per click, next gold per click. Go back over. Okay. And then we're going to move the variable's position. So it's next gold, current gold, and I want them next to each other just so it's a little bit easier when we're looking at the inspector to see what's coming. All right, so current gold is 1. The next one on whenever I upgrade should be 5. And then that should go up to 10 after we upgrade it, because it's going to increase by the increment there. Because this number, this increment should stay the same, I think. Unless this is supposed to actually upgrade it, never mind. So let's just double check all that's working. 2, 3, 4, 5. Upgrade, okay. So next gold per click went up. Our gold increment didn't go up. Do we want that to go up? No, we don't want that to go up. It's this that needs to go up. Okay, so that did go up. Let's see. 5, 10, 15. That's the upgrade cost. When we upgrade, the cost is going to go up by 10, so this number should become 25. That number is static because it's technically just adding to this one, so up. Perfect. Yeah. All right. That works. So before we go any further with this, is anybody struggling to understand what's happening with this math here? Math sucks. So I just want to double check. Everybody understanding it before we move on to the next part? Current gold click value becomes the next gold per click value. Then we take the increment to increase what that next gold per click will be. So when we upgrade again later, so that the next time we run this line, this value has to go up each time so that we can increase our click.
Like it makes sense. It's just
Yeah,
like
makes sense.
it's like a lot for my brain to digest for some
It,
reason. I'm like,
it's a lot for mine too. As I was explaining
Yeah.
it, like as I was doing it, I was like, the flat number is a problem for kind of like long term, long scale thinking, and I kind of caught it now rather than when I initially built this. So I was like, let me go ahead and fix that problem now, so we don't have that problem later. I probably should have just kept the very simple version. So what we'll do is we would probably downscale back to the more simple version of just increasing it by that increment every single time. I think the remainder is always a 1. So if the remainder is always a 1, I wonder if we wanted to keep it at a flat 5, if we
But wouldn't it make
could.
more complex because you could add an increment every like third increment or whatever? You could keep up with it, but it would be you'd have to increase. You'd have to find a whole number you wanted to increase it by
Yeah,
every.
and
And
that's what I
then
was thinking. I was like, if my remainder is always 1, so hold on, let's see. So if we started it at 1 and then we say it's plus 5, it's now going to be 6. And then every single time we increase by 10. So like the actual increment for the next time that I upgrade, it would then be 6 plus 10. So then it becomes 16 per click. And then if that's going to go up again, it's going to be 16 plus 10. So now we have the, wait, no, hold on. I hate math so much.
Yeah. me too.
So we'll
Go ahead.
well, I mean, you want it to increase by 5s, right?
Yeah, so it's doing that
So it'll
now.
be 15 next.
It's
It'd be 16 plus 15
16 plus 15.
equals the
Why
next
don't we
number.
just start the king off with 5 gold?
So
then
it would be the per click. So yeah, if you did it
Okay.
that way, yeah, you're actually let's verify that real quick to see if we can simplify this so that we don't
Dude,
have to
actually,
use
that,
that.
well, it's
Yeah,
not
that
that
actually
might be
fucking
it.
immediately solves it. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So
just
let's go ahead.
just out of curiosity. So if we want to do like an exponential type of deal, where it went from 5 to 25, then to well, okay, actually that might be a bit much, but like the exponential,
Yeah,
then you do the um the increment, plus equals increment, right? Basically, just do it by itself, or the goal, the click. I mean, like the next goal per click plus equals next goal per click.
if you
Would that make it exponential?
you could. So yeah, so if we kept the we can test both of those right now. So here, let's test both of those. So let's see. We're downsizing a little bit. So current gold per click doesn't matter. We're getting rid of that. We're just gonna say we're gonna go back to gold for. Actually, I think we can just do this. Let's do ding dong ding dong ding dong ding. Diddly doo doo diddly doo doo diddly doo doo doo. Bam bam. Okay. So gold per click. It is going to be the plus equal. Let's double check our increment. It's still at 5. Our actual gold per click is 5. So first, let's just check that. And then, okay, let's just check that that's working real quick. And then we'll just double check everything that we did, that we changed back to. Is it going to freak out actually? I don't know if I, okay, so that value is there. So, all right, so now we click, it goes up by 5. All right, so it's 20. Our upgrade cost is 5. That goes down to 15. Upgrade cost goes up to 15. That's correct. Upgrade increment, per click increment, gold per click is now 10. So it goes up again, 15. Here, let's get a bunch of gold on the field here. All right, so every time we upgrade, it does go up by 5. If we wanted our So you were saying we want to take the, if we wanted to increase the actual increment amount, have it plus equal itself. Is that what you're saying? So like
Yeah.
gold per click. Let's just see how crazy that gets. So plus equals itself. Increment. So then the amount of gold that goes up each upgrade also then doubles.
That sounds normal.
That's capitalism, right? All right, so we got our 5
Right.
amount. Yeah. It's our actual increments. Every time we upgrade, this should go up by 5. And then, holy crap. Let's just do this.
Real world.
Let's go ahead and do that. Bam, bam. Yeah.
Dude, we're rich.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, look at that. So every time I click,
That's a good idea. You get crazy really quick though.
Well,
I mean, so that works, but balance-wise, probably totally screws us. We'd have to find another way to do it. We'd have to work on like scaling like balance for it and figuring out just doing the math long term to be like how much gold do we want them to have by X amount of playtime, and then how do we do the math to get there? So I'm gonna do the lower end. I'm gonna not increase the increment for now, and just keep it at that base 5 that goes up per upgrade, and have the upgrade cost more, with the hopes that eventually the upgrade cost gets heavy enough that we can change all that. Okay. What time is it? Oh, wow. We got through that hella fast. Okay. Let me just double check there's not any subjects notes I'm missing. Okay, cool. So let's talk about something real quick. There is a couple things happening in here that we haven't actually talked about before. It's more vocab. So we have, whenever we're making a method, so this is called our method. Sometimes it's also referred to as a function. Both of those names, they mean the same thing. There might be some slight differences based on which language that you're using, but a method and a function is the same thing. I keep lowering that camera every time. This video is just going to be like me popping up, going away, popping up, going away, popping up. Anyway, the next vocab we want to learn here is there is a statement and there is an expression. So a statement is something like gold per click equals value. Like we're stating gold per click equals value. I might have those backwards. Let me double check. And of course, none of my notes are on this one. Do I have them on my phone? Yeah. Okay, cool. So easiest way to explain it. So the expression is the actual math, right? The equation. Whenever we make the equation, that is the actual expression itself. The result of that, like the action to do it, is the statement. So like whatever this new value is, or whatever this the statement performance is not a good way to explain it either. I wish I didn't lose those notes. Trying to find a good example that I can use for comment. So the return is a statement. It's an action. So return doesn't actually produce a value. So a statement doesn't always have to produce a value, but anything that is an action in code is a statement. So think of if we change the terms a bit to be a little bit more digestible, it's literally just like it's the action. So return is the action. Gold per click plus equals gold per click increment is the action. We're increasing our gold. But at the same time, the expression is the end result. So I'm trying to find a good, like, how do I explain expression versus statement outside of a fucking action? Yeah, see, so an expression evaluates to a value while statement performs an action and does not inherently produce a value. But a statement becomes an expression when we end it with a semicolon. So it doesn't, finding a good way to explain that sucks. And I had the notes for it. I just didn't memorize them. And since I no longer have my notes, I'm having to wing it. Let me see if I can find a better value. You know what? I think I know where those notes are. One sec. Where is my docs? It's important to know for something later on here. Google. Maybe it's in quiz. Statement. Yep. So but that's not. The best way that I can state it, because I still can't find my notes, but I found where I'm having the details of like, how do I better explain this to everybody? So an expression answers a question. So gold per click plus equals gold per click increment. So this is like, this produces a value. But if we were to say all of this here, so if gold amount is less than gold upgrade cost, do this and then return, this is all a statement. So this is one statement. So this is the action to do something, but it doesn't inherently return a value because we actually end this at return. So we're not producing a value, we're creating an action. So we're checking something on a condition. Our condition is in here. If that condition is met, we move on to here, and then this completes it. So like I fold that up. This is a statement to do something. And at the end result, return is our final action. But if we applied all of this, each one of these lines that produce a value is considered the expression. So some other expressions that you might see that don't return a value is something like these. So return, break, continue. If you remember when we did switch statements, you find breaks in a switch statement. That is a statement that doesn't produce a value. 9 times out of 10, a statement is going to produce a value. So that also then therefore makes it the expression, but it's the individual components that is the entire statement, but the expression is the production of that value. I'm going to pull that off of my notes because I don't like how much we can't explain that. This feels like vector 3 all over again. It's a really stupid, simple concept.
So it's like expression is the whole thing, and then statement is like the little pieces, basically.
Yeah, here, let's do this. You know what? We're here. We're doing it. Okay. Using the current script, show me an example of expression versus statement, because while we are talking about it, I'm having trouble explaining the difference between expression producing a value is any different than the core actions that generate the value as a statement in the first place. Okay, so what do we got? C#, an expression is something that evaluates to a value. A statement is a complete instruction the program can execute, ending in the semicolon. Okay, so expression inside a statement, but this is still, so a whole line is a statement. An expression statement, because it's an instruction you can execute. God, see, this is why I'm like, what? How do I better explain this? So inside it, gold amount plus gold per click is the expression. But as soon as we add that colon, we're ending the expression, and that is therefore the statement. But if you prolong it, if you wrote it in long form, gold amount plus gold per click, this expression idea produces an end result. Gold amount plus gold per click is an expression, produces an int, sure. Gold amount, the value is assignment, equals that value is an assignment statement. The instruction to store the result. So that's probably our important explainer. Yeah, we actually used this example. So if is a statement, if the condition is an expression. So our condition here is an expression, but the if is our statement, because this is our action. So our bracket checking the if is our statement. Inside here is an expression. We're producing a value, a true or false. That is our value production. And then inside, so this return is a statement. This produces a value. That is an expression as well. That's a key distinction. If doesn't produce, right? Okay, so the if doesn't produce the value. The thing that's making this really confusing is that a statement can also be the expression because it's the whole line, right? So it's the gold amount, the minus equals, this is technically our action. We're saying take this, subtract that from it. That, think of that as the action, but then the functionality of producing a value is also the equation. That's the expression. So if it kept going, if there was more and more adding and doing a whole bunch of other shit, that is the whole statement. Do all of these things. So like, think of it as like the surrounding circle of actions that produces the value is the statement. It's the how we got there. Yep, that'll have to do. It's the how we got there, how we get to the produced value. So the action of getting there, followed by the content that produces a value is the expression. So a statement is filled with expressions. This is the best way I'm going to be able to put it, I think. Well, that's stupid. That needs a better way to be explained. We never break that down in any other instance other than there's one more instance that we break that down, but when we get there, we get there. All right, we're going to move on from that. Is there any other main vocab that I need to remember to pull up? Look at my old shit. Then we can just move on. Okay. All right, cool. We're good here. We're moving on. All right, so now that we have our upgrade system, we want to link our upgrade system to some UI so that we can actually see everything happening. When I look at this button, I want to know how much gold I'm actually increasing per click. When I look at this button, I want to know what it's actually going to cost me in order to upgrade. And when I look at this value, I want to be able to see how much gold I have. I don't want to use the inspector to fill it out. So we are going to move into our next script, the UI controller. Why did it come this way? Go here. One bam. So to control our UI, we need to get references to, once again, Discord. There we go. We need to get references to all of our UI components that are adjustable. So all of our different text. Let me see if OBS will work if I do this. Kinda. Nope, won't work if I do that. If I do it like, if I go way over there. That kind of works. Okay. So let's take a look at those values. These are all text components inside of our canvas. And we'll start with our gold amount. So our gold amount right here, it's got a rect transform, it's got a text mesh pro, text UI, it's got whatever the hell this is. I think this is material, it's shaders and stuff like that. And then rect transform. So it's got 3 components on top of it. If we wanted to adjust the text of what the gold amount right here said, which component in the inspector do you think we need to get access to? Anybody? We have our, if we look at it, anything that's these arrows are the individual options for components.
Size?
No, look, the component names will be the names.
Text Mesh Pro.
It'd be
Yep.
your text message pro area.
Absolutely, because that is currently where the text is sitting. So to adjust this value, we need to get a hold of this component to erase this value and put in another one. And one second, my phone is blowing up. Make sure nobody's dead. Cool, nobody's dead, everybody's alive. Great.
You're just going to test it on one area first before you do both, correct?
Say that again. Like, what do you mean for testing the text?
Yeah. To make sure it updates one area correctly before you implement it to upgrade update the other text as well.
Yeah, we're gonna start with just the gold, and if it works with the gold, we'll work our way down.
Okay.
So something that is interesting here is the concept of Text Mesh Pro. So Text Mesh Pro is not just a normal text UI system. It is a package that we installed with the canvas that comes with doesn't come with Unity. We have to actually install it, but it is a external package that we installed. So there's Text Mesh Pro. So all of the code and all of the communication with Text Mesh Pro is not directly related to C#. It is instead a Unity code library. So while this isn't directly C#, what's happening under the hood of the Text Mesh Pro stuff is still all C# or Unity code or whatever's going on beyond the scenes. We don't really need to know that. We're just going to communicate directly with the Text Mesh Pro stuff. We're not going to get crazy like we did with making a character controller of doing it the hard way first. We're just going to utilize the library instead of trying to adjust our own UI systems. So since it's a Text Mesh Pro package, we need to actually get access to that library. Currently, we can only get access to Unity Engine things, but Text Mesh Pro is its own thing. So we're going to use the TM Pro library. I'm also going to go ahead while I'm in here. I'm going to grab the Unity Engine.UI components because this UI controller is going to be responsible with grabbing all of our canvas components that need messages and displaying them here. So to start, a Text Mesh Pro variable is called a TMP underscore text. That's the type of data that the Text Mesh Pro text is stored inside of. So for our first one, we're just working on our gold. What do we want to call the variable that we're going to set this data to? We're getting access to our gold text here. So what do we want to call our text data?
Gold text.
Gold text. Yep. All right. And our gold text. Let's see. Do we want to do any of the other fun stuff first? We just want to set it straight up. Okay, cool. So we will just do it right on our start method. So we're going to say our gold text, or here, let me comment that out actually. So we're going to say our gold text equals the value of our gold. Now we don't have our gold here, so if we need to get access to our gold, does anybody remember how to get access to another script from another location?
Get component.
Component is for if the actual script is attached to this exact object, which we could technically attach this to it and use get component, so that's not wrong, but I don't think we're going to use it that way. For the UI controller, we're actually going to attach the UI controller object to the canvas. So the canvas is going to control where all of our UI is, what messages are displayed. So we're going to need access to the player stat script, which is in the game manager. So if that's the case, how would I get access to the game manager's player stats from the UI controller?
You do public game manager.
That is extremely close. The only difference is we don't say game manager. We're going to call the component type. It's the data type. So if we're accessing a script, the script contains all this data. We're going to just specifically state it. So the name of the script is player stats, and we're just literally saying find a player stats component and fill it here. So we're just going to also call this player stats. And then when we go over here, back to Unity, we're going to take our canvas, we're going to attach the UI controller to it. And you can see there's a reference to our text and there's a reference to our stats. So our stats is looking for this game object. So now player stats knows that the game manager is what we're referencing our player stats from. There's some other ways to do it, but that's all we're going to worry about right now. And then we also have our text value here. So while we're here, we're going to go ahead and go to our gold amount, and we're just going to drag it in to our gold text value so that we're defining gold text, defining player stats. Typically, it's more uniform to define those things inside of prefabs or to define those things programmatically. But we'll do all that kind of stuff later on when it's a little bit more important and when it's more of the focus of what we're talking about. But for now, we're going to use a lot of public drag and drop stuff instead of programmatically doing it appropriately. So this is totally fine for right now. It's just another way to do it. So then on start, we're going to say gold text equals what from player stats. Do you remember what the value is called from our player stats? We're just saying that gold text equals what?
Gold per click.
Gold per click is the value that would be right here. The actual gold is up here.
Oh
So
yeah.
So if it's the actual gold, we want what value?
Gold amount.
Yep, gold amount is what we want. So we're going to say gold text. That's the name of our object for this specific component. So the TMP text is the data type or component. If we go over here and look at our gold amount, so TextMesh Pro, so then we need to access specifically this portion of it. And it looks like text input might be the value, but I think instead we just say, because if you remember, like for transform, if we want to access a transform.position, or sorry, if we want to access like the X or the Y, we say transform dot and then make our way down. So we use the dots to follow the hierarchy to get the individual variables of that component. So we need to find the variable of TextMesh Pro to figure out how we change this. So if we don't know off the top of our head, because gold text is not necessarily what we're changing, it's a value inside gold text that has to actually be adjusted. So if I hit dot, we can see what my options are. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be text. So it should just be text here. And we're going to make that equal. Let's just for now say, do you know how we would call the gold amount from player stats at this point? Keeping in mind that we use the dots to move down the list to get access to different variables. If we have player stats, how do we get a hold of the gold amount from player stats? Anybody know?
Could you click on the script, the other script, player stats? Wouldn't it be like, oh, I've lost my train of thought. It'd be like,
Shoot a shot.
fuck. Hey, can you click on can you click on back on the other one again, my man? Oh, my brain.
So
It'd
good.
be. So we're looking for the gold text.
So gold text is already defined. I'm saying gold text dot text is going to equal a value that we need to put in here. What would that value be? We know the gold amount is what we want from the player stats. How do I tell it to use the gold amount from player stats in this next word?
Would it be players stats dot gold amount?
100%. So player stats
Nice.
dot gold amount, and then we'll end it. Well, no,
That's what I
hold
was
on.
gonna
See,
say.
it doesn't
That's what-
like it. Let's see. Okay, so because gold amount is a int, we have to change this to a string because the text only takes a string. I wonder if we can just say, let's see if I can break this here. I'm going to go plus, I'm going to say G. Does that work? If that works, that's stupid. Okay, so it likes that. That is stupid. So we're saying, here, I'll explain it. So text itself, if I go ahead and get rid of this, we're going to just put an empty G with a colon is what we're saying that text equals. So text is always, it's a string. And strings are just literally anything inside of a quotation is what a string is. So I can literally make this, I can rewrite the text entirely right here. I'm going to hit play, hit save, go back over here. And then when I hit play, G is going to, or the gold is going to become poo-poo. Right? So then that's the actual text. It gets replaced right there. Now, in order for it to say a number value, I don't have a good explanation as to why I can kind of rig it, but it won't just accept the value outright because it's an int. But if I put a string in here first and then say add the value with this string, it will work. We'll see if we can find a good reason for that real quick. But let me just go ahead and test it.
Well, aren't you supposed to convert it from the int to a string?
So you could, and this might be doing it shorthand, because we could do a whole toString method and capture that, which we'll test that here in a second. Let's just see if we can bypass it. Player stats dot gold amount, and let's just see if this works. So what it'll say is G and then the gold amount. And then let's go over here, press play. Okay, cool. So my current gold amount is 0, and if I increase that, see if I hit enter, go back to this, did that do anything? That's not changing because we need to we need to create a method later that actually updates this, but for now we're going to put it in update just so that we can see the incrementation actually happen for now. All right, so our gold, and if I increase it, okay, so whatever our gold value is now written up here. But it's an interesting concept, right? So when we use that example from last week's class, it's just a whole number here and a visual icon. When you start designing things and using art and all of this other stuff to define what a variable is, I don't want a G here. I want a picture of a coin. So that means I do want just this number value. So let's see if we can, because I don't convert it to a string in my notes here. So let's see if we can just flat out do that real quick. So let's say I'm going to create a say void test string, and then we're going to take this value and we're going to put it down in here, and then we're going to run test string here in the update so that it's always running. And then we're going to, and the reason I did this because we want to create a local value. We're not going to store a permanent placeholder for a temporary string, which we'll talk more about here in just a second. So we're going to say string, let's see, converted gold is, let's see if we can do player. I'm doing all this here on the fly by memory, see if I can remember. Is it capital T toString? Are they going to give me any? Let's see, string to the string. The name returned by toString. Can I convert back a toString to non-delegate type string? Did you intend to invoke the method? Nope. So I think it is. player stats dot gold amount dot toString. ToString is a method in. Aw, maybe. So then we're after if this works, because this is saying take the player stats gold amount, and then we're going to run this function. The toString is a actual C# functionality for managing strings, because managing strings is the biggest pain in the ass ever. We literally have an entire class just talking about strings at some point. But this is going to take
2D.
Yeah, so we're going to take this int value, convert it into a string so that we can pass it through basically using quotations, so that this will read convert gold. All right, let's see if we just kicked ass. Let's find out. Okay, cool. So we got a 0. And as we hell yeah. Now we're talking.
Woo!
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah!
Yeah,
Onto
look
something.
at that. All right. Perfect.
Hey, real
Alright.
quick, I stepped away for a split second. What was the
Class is
convert
over.
goal?
No, I'm just
What
kidding.
did that? What did
Just
that?
It's out.
What did the convert gold do? Like, where did that come from?
All right. So this is where basically our goal was to get rid of needing to put that G for
Yeah.
because we did this. So the
Yeah,
reason that
I
we
get
have to do this is by creating this string here and then adding this value. It allows us to bypass the fact that text requires a string in order to update that text value. And so what we're doing with convert gold, we're going to say convert. We're not going to say convert gold. We're going to call it convert gold amount. Let's see. Let's
Did you
see.
just do is current gold?
Gold. We're going to say gold to string or something. I don't know. Like gold to string. Because the gold amount is by default, when we go to player stats, is an int. And we need to turn it into a string. So then over here, we use the toString method. So toString method is a, let's see, examples and documentation. Will that work? Oh, neat. None of that is going to be worth going through right there. But basically, toString is a method that exists within C# to take an int value and change it to a string. I think you could even do it with any other number value, but it's specifically for taking numbers and converting them into strings. And the reason that it's only for that value type, actually, I wonder if you can do a bool. You might be able to turn a bool into a string as well, because it's human readable information. So in real life, we know that 1, 2, 3 is a value, like it's a character. But programmatically, we say that numbers are different than letters in programming. Since we're saying numbers are different than letters, they get moved in terms of how they are stored. We are then instead saying with the toString, make the numbers the same thing as letters. I don't know if we can actually do it with a bool. Out of curiosity, I wonder if we can do it as a bool. Let me just Google it on my phone. Can toString convert bool? Oh, cool. So anything that is a human readable value that translates to like a word or an input can be transferred into a string using the toString method. So a bool is just true or false. So if we wanted to take a toString method and say, well, I want to turn the Boolean true or false statement into a string that just says the word true or false, we can transfer that. And the reason we might want to do that is like, think of it like if you created a light switch in a game. And the light switch, you go and you turn it on for true, turn it off for false. You can have the light switch visually be just, the player goes up to it, hits E to interact with it, and turns it on. And behind the scenes, it says true or false to say whether the light is on or the light is off. But instead, if I was like, well, I want to tell the person true or false, we would then need a way to read the Boolean and turn it into text, because the user doesn't see anything that looks like this anywhere in your game world unless it's a string that gets attached to a UI component. So like all these values here are strings, because string is, what's a good way to explain this? So in C Sharp, everything has a predetermined naming convention. So like a int is going to be a number, boolean is going to be a true or false statement, a character is going to be a single individual character, a float is going to be decimal numbers, etc., etc. But if you need to create storage in data for something that doesn't natively exist for naming, like the word randomly, like I need to store this huge sentence, we use strings for stuff like that. So like our string is this massive sentence that I need to store and use for dialogue later on. I can display to you the dialogue by attaching the dialogue to text, but I cannot display to you the Boolean by attaching it to text, because a Boolean is not text. Boolean is just a true or false value. But if we wanted to take the value of true or false and translate that to text, we use the two-string system. Does that make sense to anybody at all? Cool.
Yeah, I think I
Cool.
understood
Cool. That's good.
especially the beginning part of the string. I understood that. I forgot that you did you declared string gold to string, like I forgot what that was at first, but I think I'm
All right.
on pace now.
All right. Cool. So this is no longer going to be test string. We're going to call this set. Well, for now, we'll just call this messages, because we're going to update this with all kind of fun stuff later. Dun, 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 dun. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. All right, cool. So we do a little bit more. All right, so now that we have gold updating, we want to also now go ahead and update the rest of these texts. So what do we have left? We need to update the gold button text to see gold amount per click. We need to see the cost for upgrade. And we have the peasant stuff and everything else, but we're going to do just those for right now, just to get those on the board. Okay. Let's move this value up to the top because it's something that's only going to be referenced by itself. And let's do a header. So we're going to say headers. What was it? Yeah, header, it's a method. This is just so we get some sorting on the inspector. We're going to say references. Don't need to end it. Nope. And then we're going to say text. Let's see. Display data. And so we have gold text. We have, I don't know why it's gold text 2. We're going to say gold upgrade cost. And what was the other one that we needed? Gold per click. TV. What? Okay, TMP text. Gold upgrade text instead. And then gold click text. Okay. And we're going to put them all inside the messages area. So since we're doing conversions and we're going to get away from well, actually, we might not need to do that for these other values. So this one, maybe, I can see the click here, but for this one, so for upgrades, I need something that tells me what it is that I'm upgrading. So if we convert this value to just numbers, we still need text here to tell us what it is that we're upgrading. So this is like our tap. Our tap is negative 10G to upgrade that. So we're saying upgrade our tap is 10G. So we need to actually have tap plus the value. So we got to use the original method here for these. And for this, I think we don't need the letter G. I think we can just do the value here. So let's do the conversion for our gold per click first. So we're going to say string gold click string equals. So if it's our gold per click amount that we're going to grab, how do I call it? Just for reference, it's in our player stats and it's gold per click. How do I call that here?
Player stats dot gold per click.
Yep. Do string. And then we're going to say gold. Oh, no, we didn't say per. We said gold click. Gold click text dot text equals gold click string. And the last one, we don't want to convert. We actually want to include a custom string. So it is gold upgrade text. Nope. So this is the original. So we do our quotes to say what the string is going to be, which is going to be tap with the colon, and then I'm going to put a space so that we have an empty space between the word tap. And then we're going to add the actual value from player stats. What is that value called? The cost? Yeah. Upgrade cost. We're going to save that. Go back over here. We're going to go to our canvas. And we need to define the gold upgrade text and the gold click text. So our gold earned button, this is the button itself, and the text is inside the button as a child. So click on canvas, drag this down. What is it? So the tick, click, yep, can't speak. And then our upgrade is the same thing. It's inside the menu. Upgrade to gold, drag the text down into here. So now when I press play, this should turn into a 5. Sweet. That's 5. And this is tap is 5. So click, click, click. Upgrade. This goes up to 15. This goes up to 10. My value over there is 10. Increasing my gold. Tink, 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 tink. Tap 15. Bam, 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 bam. All right. So.
All right, let's pack it up and sell it for $20.
Yeah, boy. So I'm gonna say
With some DLC.
hell yeah. So
It's all
I'm
early
gonna say
access.
we're gonna do one more thing here. So we're gonna put another string. I'm gonna do a negative value. It's just so they know that it's minus this much gold. And then we have to hit plus again because we don't want to think that we're saying it's the cost is minus our upgrade. So we're just putting the string. We're putting in a character in front of it, and then at the very end, I'm gonna put another value. We're gonna put in G so they know that gold is gonna be what it looks like. And then I actually think I want the letter G on the text for click text. So we don't have to undo our toString. So we can just say this plus that. So we're just adding a character and we're still keeping our toString. We don't necessarily need the toString now. We can just use the value. But let's just see what it looks like before we decide to keep that. You guys tell me what you think, if it looks better or worse.
I feel like that G is going to display before your number, so
Yeah,
it's going
so
to look
it's
like
gold is
G5.
okay, yeah. So we just change it by doing, so our gold is do space here. Let's do plus. Let's try that. See if that
Couldn't we
makes it
just
more.
put the parentheses after the string? So it'd be like 5 gold.
Yeah, actually. So let's see. So you're saying take this parentheses, that ending parentheses, and put it at the end. Will it work?
I mean, put the whole body there. So like start and stop. Yeah. But I mean, I don't think we need the.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, so we don't need these two. Yeah, we don't need these two. We can just do that. So this will work here. But when I looked at it, I didn't like the way that it looked, that it read, right? So like that doesn't look like.
Well, no. What I meant was we put the G after the number, and then we keep the plus where it's at right now.
Gotcha.
So we
Yes,
still
I
need
agree.
different parenthesis bodies.
Yeah. Cool. Yep. Agreed. And then we'll put the G at the end. We need to add it though. We can't. I don't think we can do. You know what? Since this is actively a string, I wonder if it will let us just do it all the way now. I don't know if it will. Let's find out. So the whole thing would be plus. So I can't. What I can't do is put gold to string in here like this because it's gonna literally be the word gold to string. But I think there's a way around that. Let me just double
Even if
check
we put it
something.
in parentheses.
So we would have to create the two initial parentheses, so a start and an end, right? So like we can't do the start and the end, wrapping it all in one call. What we can do, I think, let me see if I can remember how to, I know I can do it in JavaScript, so let me see if I can figure it out here.
Is it the single parentheses?
Hold on,
Oh.
let's see if I can do it. I can't remember how to create an expression inside of a string. It could be single, but single is technically still a string in C# as well. Let me see if we can figure this out. It's a little bit way off loop, but it would be good to know how to do. You know what? We're not going to go to Google. We're just going to go here. Let's see. I want to set the expression of gold to string inside the singular string request. Is it possible? Or do I need to separate them by double? Okay. See, well, the interpolation was the $sign. I was trying to do it. Just show me the one thing. Oh, see that. Okay, no, that is doing it. Well, okay, cool. So the whole thing. Okay. Okay. So to fix this, we go. Oop. Yay! So without getting too crazy,
Nice.
this $sign is saying take this string and read expressions from it. So that way you can create really complex text. So like imagine if you're like, here is an entire sentence of things that include the player's name. Well, we want player's name to be a value. So it's going to be like, we have player's name stored. So if I wanted to put his player name here, I'd have to put that, hey, these curly brackets tell you player's name is a variable. And by putting the $sign here, that $sign is saying that, hey, anything inside of this, look for variables. So we're saying look for variables inside this string to fill in that word. And that's what we're doing with gold click string. I'm tongue tied. Okay. And then let's see if that works, see how it looks. I'm gonna laugh if it still looks like crap, but hey, at least we did something cool there. We're gonna press play. Cool, plus 5G. How does that look?
Exquisite.
Exquisite. Yeah. Pink. So since we
And
know how to
need
do
a gold
that,
icon.
yeah, we just need UI. We just need UI, but we're not there yet. All right, so since we can do that, that means we can take this and do the same thing. So we're gonna go expression time, and this is our value. And then we're gonna get rid of all the extra stuff. Doodly-doo-doo-doo. 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 Okay, so now should be tap is minus. We don't want a space. We want to be the minus that value. I don't want a space between the G. Same thing here. I don't want a space between that G. And bing, bada boom.
There's a space between the parentheses and a P.
For that curly bracket you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
I don't think that the curly bracket technically mattered if there was a space there, but it's definitely we don't want that for sure. I don't think it would break anything though. Let's just double check everything looks good. All right, cool. Taps minus 5G. Pressing the button is plus 5G. Our gold value is set to a default 0. Upgrade, or not upgrade, but add gold. Now upgrade that amount. We are out of money because we're poor. Hell yeah. We're gonna
More
do.
taxes.
That's right. Get them taxes, baby. All right. Let's do one more thing. Yeah, we got the time for it. Let's do one more little thing. Where is it? Do I not have it? Menu. Wow. All right, so something we didn't put in here is a feedback message. So like this not enough money, I'd want to display that to the user. So we need a text for that. So we are going to put it, it's not going to be in resources, but I think it would be like sitting right below this, or it could be something that's down here. But I like it up here because this is where all the stuff is happening, is up at the top. So I'm going to put it up there. So we're just going to create.
We just create like a very bright light, and then an audio just "You're too poor."
Yes. All right, and then we're gonna use this message as a reference to what it might look like. Okay, so then we need to line this out. Our width. All right, we're just gonna go to it. AF.
Too much girth, not enough width.
That's right. Oh, I don't want the yellow. I want the blue. We're just gonna go within the confines of our padding, which was at that like 2.5. All right, 1.5 rather.
So if we have a lot of things that we'd like to a lot of messages we'd like to throw at the player, then that's whenever we then create another panel. But otherwise, since it's just a simple, you know, one-off message like we're doing, this is why we're just doing inserting a text like this and not doing a whole panel type of deal.
So it depends on how you're going to use your feedback system. So for this, we can just leave this single text component, and we're simply just going to erase what's in this text and replace it with the warning message every time that there is one. So whenever we're clicking gold and that message pops up in the debug, so it's like it sees here in our we see it here in our code. So when this happens, we're just going to say set the message to the error message. And we can do this for everything. So we could say for add gold to click, set feedback message to gold was increased. And we can literally just take that feedback text and set it to whatever we want from any direction based on however we're communicating. So we'll go ahead and show you the example. Go ahead.
Sort of like Clicker Heroes, where like when you click on the item, you can spam it, and it's like +5G, but it's like sprinkles, like it's like raining. You're like, I don't know.
I mean, we could do all kinds of crazy shit. You do whatever your heart desires.
Yes.
Let's see. Do I want to go backwards? Nah, we're gonna do. It's gonna come from. Okay. So I'm gonna go off build just to show this. Off build. So we are going to do we have a couple of options. We can set the feedback message. Let's get a reference to it. Public. Sure, give me that. And then let's say feedback text. And then okay, cool. We'll also cover that before. We should be able to do this quick enough that I can mention these two things. Messages. So we don't need to put it in here. Instead, we need to set it for, so feedback is going to be set by actions that we take. So since we're taking an action and we want a feedback to occur, it's other scripts that are actually going to adjust this text. Now we're going to do a cheap version of that and come back to it later. But later, what we're going to do, so I'm going to write this for later. We're going to say set. Well, I guess we could just do this. Set message, and then we're going to say string message. Put this in here, and then all of the adjustments to. Let me find an example that we haven't actually done yet. Yeah, so feedback text dot text equals message. Let's make sure that it's not actually null. Null check. Null check. What is what? if message equals null. I'm loving it. All right. And we are going to actually make this public because it's other places they're going to call it. So what I could do is say in player stats, we're going to get a reference to our canvas. Is it our canvas? No, it's not the canvas that we need. It's our UI controller because we need access to that data. UI controller. And we could just say UI controller dot feedback text dot text equals you poor son of a bitch. You ain't got enough monies. Oh, monies. All right. We could just do that and it would work. Go here, save that. You guys hear my dog complaining about life in the background?
I
Nope, he
wish.
is suffering in silence.
Let's see if she's looking at me. Yeah, she is looking at me. What do you want?
Puppers.
What do you want, Peanut? Come on. Oh,
I want food.
come on.
Food.
Feed me, human.
Come on. Come on. Get up.
I
Come on.
want
I'm in the middle
attention.
of something. Come on. Oh my god. Whatever, you fluff ball.
Cat,
Did
pet
this
me,
campaign.
but don't touch me.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so we need to set now the feedback message to nothing. And let's press play. Okay, and then so I'm gonna press the upgrade. Oop, we got a null somewhere. Game manager. Do we have a reference? Nope. We need our canvas. Does our canvas have a reference to the text? Yes. Okay, nothing splody. So when I click this, bam, changes that message. You poor son of a bitch, you ain't got enough monies. Right? So then we need it to go away then after I press this to get rid of it. So we're gonna go. Otherwise, it's successful and it just goes to empty. And ding. Upgrade. Oh, ain't got it. And then upgrade. Okay, so it didn't do it. Oh. All right, let's see.
Couldn't we just put like a timer on it or something, so it's not always there?
Yeah, you
Or
could put.
disable.
Yeah. You could do all kinds of shit. What are you going on about? What's your problem? I'm not carrying you like a baby right now. I'm busy.
Hey, but it's free advertising.
This dog. She's trying to keep me from doing anything. This is what I deal with
Is your
every
dog
day.
part cat?
Yeah, she's a cat.
Yes.
Okay, so what I would typically do, and I don't think I'd be able to break it enough for this example, but instead of doing this, I would say, I would just go set. Oh wait, UI controller dot set message, and then I would put you poor, so very poor. I think I need to say string here. Yeah. Maybe I don't. Let's see if that works. Poor. So very poor. Okay. And check. Yep, you poor, so very poor. So to reset it, we basically will come over here and say set message, and we're going to end it. And then if we come over back to the UI controller, so if it's saying that if it's null, there's nothing there, then do nothing. And then actually what I'm going to do instead is say the feedback text dot text equals, oh yeah, here we go, string dot empty. So it won't read just the plain empty value of saying it equals nothing. It's going to look for nothing and then break. So what I'm curious is if I have to do this check. Let's just make sure that this works. What I think I don't have to do that. Hold on. Let's just see if I can do it the way that I hope I can do it, and then I'll explain that.
Yeah, that just lost me.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm thinking out loud while I'm like, can I do it long form? Can I do it short form? Let's keep that. Player stat, and then it's going to be, no, we just want, I pass in string dot empty and still pass. So what I'm trying to test, right? So we're saying that if the message is null, do nothing. And that's important because if we come across a situation where the string disappears and we're requesting to send in a message from somewhere, we don't want to break anything, right? Like we're doing our null check as we do for every other value that gets used all the time, passed around. By creating a method to handle both the null check and changing the feedback text, we're avoiding having to do a null check every single time we change that feedback text, because otherwise I would have to write this text change and then do null checks when I return it. So to prevent that, we're creating a method that handles the null check, but I might have to put more information here if a string dot empty doesn't work. So the string dot empty basically says, hey, erase whatever value is in that string, but it isn't saying that it's null. If I say make it empty, I'm basically saying make the string this. There's nothing inside. But I can't pass that. Like I can't say empty this string out. So there's literally a method called string.empty that will empty out the string for us so that I'm not passing a invisible value. I'm not passing a null value. So this should allow, when we actually upgrade the gold and it's successful, for the value to go away. So go upgrade. All right, so we're poor. Let's get enough gold so we can upgrade. And then now the message goes away because we have enough money. Too poor. Upgrade till I have enough. All right, now I'm no longer too poor. We can create systems for refreshing that message and all that stuff later on. But now we have a message system to see when we've clicked this too many times. And we can pass that set message value into every single function in the future without having to worry about null checks, without having to worry about when it empties, all of that fun stuff, so that we have a good warning system or update system later on down the road. But I think that's it for today. Next week, we will set up our peasants, the upgrade system for peasants. And since it's basically doing exactly what we just did for gold, it should go by pretty quick. If it goes by pretty quick, we'll then introduce our delivery system. once we've introduced that, we will then clean up and complete the game loop. We'll probably clean up and complete the game loop not next week, but the week after that. Because right now we're still doing a whole bunch of like, here's just how that works, but then we're going to restructure some of it to show you how to keep it clean and keep stuff separated so that it's a little bit more future proof and scale proof. So then when we start working on the challenges, everything is in a place that's a lot more readable instead of just some of it's over here, some of it's over there, and some of it's over here. We want to have very distinct scripts on how things are communicating. And then we want to talk a little bit about edge cases. So, like, um, we try to upgrade and this fails. And what do we do when this fails? What do we do when this is empty? What do we do when this is too full? Things of that nature. That'll be it for today.
Possum, possum.